I think that people like things which are out of scale because it makes you almost a giant or a tiny person. I think people like things which are too big and also things that are too small. It's a sense of having control over a space which you wouldn't be able to if it was full scale. I've just come to St Giles to get some extra details of the building and to make some sketches so that I can include those details in the model that I'm making. I'm Charles Young, I'm an artist based in Edinburgh and I make paper models and sculptures of buildings. I studied architecture at university and as part of the course I got into making models of buildings. At least as a student architect, it's the closest you get to actually making something real. People have an image of buildings like this where you see the kind of postcard view. It's nice to look around the back and into the quieter parts because you see details that you wouldn't see otherwise. So when I'm looking at it, I'm trying to find ways of simplifying the building because I'm making quite a small scale version of it. I think that I've got all of the details that I was missing before, so I'm going to take these back and work on it in the studio. I've been working from home for a long time before lockdown. Having a fairly small space to work in influences the work that I'm making. Only having a small space means that I'm making compact models. I'm going to start to draw out the pieces that I need for the first block of the cathedral that I'm going to make. I'm going to start by making one end of the nave. I think that this model is different from the individual colour models because it's a model of a real building, and making real buildings takes a lot longer than making invented buildings because I'm trying to match the shapes and sizes from life. So this has been a project over about 3 days. I've got to the stage where I can start cutting things out, so I'm going to start with the window. I've found that using a surgical scalpel is the best way of getting precise cuts on this kind of scale of work. There's always parts of the building that are more fun to make and bits that are more frustrating to make. Quite often it's things with lots of windows, which can become a bit frustrating. The next stage is assembling the 4 walls into a solid piece. This is a bookbinding needle, which I'm using to put the glue on. Having a needle to use means that you can be very precise with it and you can put glue right along the edge. Now that I've made one of the boxes that makes up the cathedral, I can start to combine them into the final structure. Most buildings are a series of boxes. If you can work out where they are in the structure, you can kind of see what the structure is like underneath. This is one of those stages where if you get it wrong, you can't really undo it. Within the constraints of what I'm able to make in paper, I'm trying to make the model as accurate as I can at this scale. There's a limit to what I can actually make in paper and what you can make when it's only a few millimeters across. I've made additional details that add onto the side of the building. I'm going to keep adding these on until I've completed the structure. You start to see the building like it actually looks once you're getting to this level of detail. The final part of the church is the top of the tower and the crown on top. Some of this paper I've glued back to back so it has colour on both sides. Just below the top there is a cylinder which is made by wrapping a small strip of paper around a needle, and the very top is a little pyramid which is made out of tiny triangles. That's finished. That's the church complete. What I want to make in my work is a combination of architecture and art. It incorporates some of the precision that you get in technical drawing and making with creativity that comes with being able to make something that's not for anything in particular, but just for itself.